Didn't know what all that noise is.
Well, that was... See, the technology, it's it's Bond. We're being hacked by Spectre already, Seamie. The technology's going nuts, yeah.
It's good. Anyway, well, welcome to the movie review this week. A very important release we have to tell you about. And I'm going over to M now, and he's in Bundoran.
Yes, the centre of intelligence all over Ireland. I would like to say that. And what it's going, I was actually studying something earlier about the Scots, but can only be described as a Drek day. And because, of course, Bond was from Scotland. He's not English, as most people assume. He is, of course, Scottish. And Bond is back. And this is something, Seamie, yes, we've been talking about this for 2 years, really, haven't we? Because it was supposed to come out in April 2020. This was very much, I think I said last time, it was the canary in the coal mine. It was the first big movie that people went, why is that being moved? Maybe this COVID thing is quite serious. And then it was November, and then it was the start of this year. Finally, it's here. Bond is back. Now, it's funny saying this, because there is nobody who has been around that doesn't know Bond is back. It is plastered all over the television. It is plastered on billboards everywhere. If you're, there's the beer ads, there's the watch ads, there's the car ads. Bond is everywhere. It's all over social media, and they're going big on it. And it is one of those things that we did say at the time. I hope it's good. It must be good if they delayed it for this long, and now we finally get a chance to catch up. And because it has been a kind of an odd thing with Daniel Craig's Bonds. So I think it started off very well with Casino Royale, and then Quantum of Solace, not quite so good. Skyfall, great.
Yes.
Spectre, not quite so good. So now we have the last one. We're going to find Bond after missing him for, what is it, like 4 or 5 years since we haven't. And Bond is retired, living in Jamaica. And I think we've got a clip that'll kind of set up where we are at the moment.
The past isn't dead.
James, fate draws us back together. Now your enemy is my enemy.
His name is Safin.
And what does he want?
Revenge. Me.
When her secret finds its way out, it'll be the death of you.
You can imagine why I've come back to play.
There's a young lady in Santiago I want you to meet.
You're late.
When you're ready. Salute.
I met your new 00. She's a disarming young woman.
I get why you shot him.
Yeah, well, everyone tries at least once.
James Bond.
We both eradicate people to make the world a better place. I just want to be a little tidier.
Come on, Bond. Where the hell are you?
Have you ever flown one of these?
Nope.
Harder to tell the good from bad, villains from heroes these days.
What is it?
You don't know what this is. He's going to kill millions.
If we don't do this, there will be nothing left to save.
It looks so good. I mean, we've been watching the commercials the last little while on TV and stuff, and it just looks absolutely fabulous. Is it as good as we think it is?
Well, here's the good news. Absolutely it is. I was thinking about this. When the first Bond movies came out, their big selling point was it was all going to be done on location. And in the 60s, when people really didn't travel abroad, or if they did, maybe the very wealthy got to go to France or Spain or something like that, or the UK, that the whole thing was, it was a travelogue as well as a spy movie. You know, Bond would always go to these exotic places, and so many of us grew up watching it in the cinema or even on TV, looking at all these exotic places and going, will we ever go there? And it kind of feels a bit that way again because of the last 18 months that now we get to see. So it opens in Norway, and then we're in Jamaica, and we're in Greece. And I have to say, the opening scene, the opening fight scene is one of the most spectacular things I have ever seen in a Bond movie, and that's saying a lot. There's a bit in it. Actually, I went to the cinema with from this parish, Mr. Shane Smith, who actually had a mild swear word with a certain motorbikes stunt that they did, and very kind of throwback to almost The Great Escape, that sort of action. And along with the glamour, with the locations, there's the glamour, you know, which is one of the reasons we'll get to why we're so dressed up. There's one for the camera there. But also, there's kind of a physicality to this stunts that other movies don't have. We talked, and we had fun with the Fast and Furious movies. But the thing is, when they're bombing around the place, you never think a car crash is real. It's so obviously like effects and so on. In this, every scrape of the car is seen. When Bond jumps off something, he doesn't just land on his feet, he falls over because it's kind of physical. And so you really have your heart in your mouth when you're watching him, tear around the corners. When he's on the motorbike, you're going, wear a helmet, man. You're going to get hurt. And when you're feeling like that, you know the movie has got you. Now, it is still James Bond. So, of course, the plot is ludicrous. And I'm still not completely sure I got all of it, but I don't think that ever mattered. Last week I watched a bit of The Spy Who Loved Me, one of my all-time favourite Bonds. It was on the telly last week, and possibly up there with Goldfinger for the best theme song. I don't know, like Nobody Does It Better by Curtis Hammond, one of the greats. But I was watching that, and some of these kidnapping ships and stuff, and okay, so they never made sense. And that's fine, and the bad guys are always over the top. But this, probably one of the differences is, while the story is still ridiculous, the cast are so good. Daniel Craig is such a good actor, and like none of the lines, even when he's doing the slightly funny, cheesy lines, you believe in the character. But also the other cast, and I don't want to tell too much. Everyone will have seen the clips about other agents, other spies, and some of the women in particular. But they don't really, I think on purpose, the trailer you were talking about, it doesn't really tell us who everyone is at the start, and I want to leave it for people to find. But I'd have to say Ana Damas as Paloma, who they meet in Cuba, and it's one of those things, the Bond series have always done well. So you get the theme music but mixed up, so it's a Cuban Latino version of the theme music as they have this fight in a bar. I love those bits. It was really fun. Now, of course, Seamie, is there a week that goes by that I don't say it's a bit too long? And watching it late last night, 2 hours, 40 minutes, I'm not sure they needed that. And I have one minor negative I'd like to say. And, I know you'd be going, oh, you always have something negative to say. But there's a whole thing in it. All the bad guys sort of have physical defects or scars. And, it's 2021. I know that was a thing always in the Ian Fleming books. But, it's 2021. Maybe don't do that. Come up with something new. Like one of the lads who don't pay tax and going into space. Do that them instead.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that would be a better one. But look, I really loved it. And like even last night, I dressed up.
Yeah.
Seamie, I have to say, it's well worth checking out the video this week. Seamie looks fantastic. It's like Buddy Carr was still broadcasting. There's one for there's one for the teenagers. But
I'm not doing this again.
But I really think, I know I've been talking loads, but I'm so excited about this because the wait is so long. It's been really good. And I know you're a big Bond fan yourself, and I know you really enjoyed. So I'm sure, will you go and see this one?
Absolutely. I'm going to bring the sleeping bag.
Yeah. You might need it. But here's the thing. You might think it's like me that it's quite long, but there'll be no falling asleep because the action does not stop.
Non-stop,
It's great.
non-stop.
So what I'd say is get glammed up like we are, you know, and
Get a dicky
that's
ball
it.
on.
So we even in the cinema, everyone's dressed up. We're giving away a meal for two for the best dressed person to come to the cinema. Because look, face it, after the 18 months we've had, we all need a bit of a laugh. We all need a bit of glamour and an excuse. Get up in your glad rags. You will never see me at a Zoom meeting again wearing a shirt and tie. And Jamie, you look fantastic. But I suspect you wear that all the time anyway.
Absolutely.
That's the difference between us. So
Come on, we got
see
2
Bond.
minutes left to talk about the rest of our movies. We got Casper opening. And,
Okay, so obviously nothing new really wants to come up against Bond. So we've a couple of lovely family movies. Halloween season has begun. I'm sorry, people, but it has. Bond's taken over, but it's Halloween from here on in. So we've got Casper, always popular, and even more popular, Hocus Pocus. We've already nearly sold out of the first showing of Hocus Pocus, and it's 20 years old and comes back every year. People love it. But if I have time, what I'd really like to mention is there's a showing of Spirit Untamed, which was a lovely little movie about a girl and her horse, but it's a special screening for a sensory-friendly screening. We do these on the first Saturday of every month, and I think it's important. Look, we're talking about, you know, Bond and being a bit more inclusive and everything. Sometimes cinemas and places like that, we don't include people who don't get a chance to come every day. And if we're talking about people who haven't been in the cinema for ages coming to see Bond, let's look after our little people too, who maybe the cinema can be a bit scary. So there's a lovely experience for them. But for everyone else, look, it's all about Bond this weekend.
Yeah.
Go enjoy it. Give out about it. Fancy Daniel Craig. It's all good fun. The sponsors got their money's worth. Put it like this, you know, you'll see a bit of the product.
Come here, I have a quick one for you. Like he's finished now. That's his last one, and we've a couple of minutes left. We have about 50 seconds. And who do you think is going to take over?
I really haven't a clue. There's all sorts of things. Like someone like Idris Elba would be really cool, but you think he's already in his late 40s, early 50s. Surely we want, you want like Daniel Craig. It's 16 years and 5 movies. These things take a long time. So maybe someone a bit younger. Wouldn't it be great to somebody we didn't know that well? After all, Sean Connery wasn't known that well when he took it over. So I think maybe somebody that would surprise us would be great.
Okay. And good luck. Anybody coming to
me? I'm not busy next year. I'll be finished college.
I could loan you my jacket.
That'll be very good. I might have
my dicky bow.
Yeah. Well, it's all about the dicky bow. Yeah,
it is. Okay. Look, whatever you do, get it shaken, not stirred. That is Collie on Movies. That's all we got.
Bye.
Guys, films on